so damn fragile. I was looking at life through a fog. I lost my baby girl and they killed my dog. I was laying on the bottom feeling sad, thinking about doing bad things, raging fucking mad. I couldn't understand why I was chosen. Then it led to my rage and explosion. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. Wrap your kids in the Bible. Wrap your kids in the flag. CPS is from the devil. Y'all know that it's a fact. I'm a father that went to jail. I cherish my daughter. It was nothing when they come for her and me. There should have been a slaughter. Stand with us. Make parenting great again. Abolish CPS. Ambush with the black SUVs. They come armed, they came for me, and they came for her. Stand with us, make parenting great again, abolish CPS. They took her from me, she's across the state. Gone for a year now, taken away. All these people who have written me off, I'm here to show my face and tell you you're wrong. I never was as good as you, and for the record we know that's not true. I'm not trying for a comparison. How dare you, you're embarrassing. I don't wanna be as good as anyone else. I fight this battle, I fight for myself. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. I don't care about your judgment, I'm glad you gave us this test. But when your life is over, will your heart sleep quietly in your chest? I've got more life to live. As a matter of fact, it's just beginning. I've been given a challenge and my daughter is waiting. It's a fight I can't walk away from, a new life we are creating. So why you sit there mouth full of hating? Be sure my mind is planning on invading. I've got a war to fight and I'm on. I won't give up, I need to win, this is bigger than you. I don't expect you to understand. I am the one who can start over. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for the biggest fight. I won't be left behind. This is the time, I call it mine. Step out of the way unless you wanna play. Trump, stand with us. Make parenting great again, abolish CPS. There is no time for bickering. The clocks are flickering. Pick up your weapon and join me. If not, go back to ignoring me. I will be on top, pistol going pop, pop. Money falling from my pockets. You'll still be lying on dockets, so fuck you.
Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand. Nothing to us comes the family value. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious.
We stand our ground in the chaos tonight. Voices roaring, we won't go down without a fight. Broken laws and shattered dreams we see. CPS no longer will decide what's meant to be. Don't tread on us, we scream into the void. Parents torn apart, families destroyed. We march forward, hearts ablaze with pride. Injustice crushed as we gather side by side. Abolish the chains and break the system down. No more kids for cash in this twisted town. Make parenting great with freedom as our goal. Here Tiff and the Punisher, we're reclaiming control. Constitution rules, we hold it tight. No more tears or endless nights. Stealing kids is not their right. We won't back down, we stand and fight. Battle scars from a war we never chose. Families torn, but our numbers grow. CPS must go, the world will know. Our power surges, watch the rebels show. Abolish the chains and break the system down. No more kids for cash in this twisted town. Make parenting great with freedom as our goal. Here Tiff and the Punisher, we're reclaiming control. chaos tonight. Voices roaring, we won't go down without a fight. Broken laws and shattered dreams we see. CPS no longer will decide what's meant to be. Don't tread on us, we scream into the void. Parents torn apart, families destroyed. We march forward, hearts ablaze with pride. Injustice crushed as we gather side by side. Abolish the chains and break the system down. No more kids for cash in this twisted town. Make parenting great with freedom as our goal. Here Tiff and the Punisher, we're reclaiming control. Constitution rules, we hold it tight. No more tears or endless nights. Stealing kids is not their right. We won't back down, we stand and fight. Battle scars from a war we never chose. Families torn, but our numbers grow. CPS must go, the world will know. Our power surges, watch the rebels show. Abolish the chains and break the system down. No more kids for cash in this twisted town. Make parenting great with freedom as our goal. Here Tiff and the Punisher, we're reclaiming control. We're in control. Battle scars from a war we never chose. Families torn, but our numbers grow. CPS must go, the world will know. Our power surges, watch the rebels show. Abolish the chains and break the system down. No more kids for cash in this twisted town. Make parenting great with freedom as our goal. Here Tiff and the Punisher, we're reclaiming control.
All right,
We're reclaiming
what is going on, everybody? All right, I'm sorry that we were late tonight, but I didn't even realize that I was going to come in on my night off. But here I am, and we're going to talk some CPS. So, what do you guys think? What do you have going on? I see that Vinny's mom's in here. I see Debbie's in here. Her grandson's coming home. That's victory number 2 for the people that are involved in this channel for this week. So far, we've got Danielle's kids home. We got her son home, and now we got Debbie's kids coming home. So see, something's going right with what we're talking about here. Vinny's kids are soon to come home. And these are all facts, people. These aren't fake people that are on the list. This is real people doing the shows, things like that, that are from here, that have done things that we've talked about. And Brenda, I don't see you in here. I think you might be in the wrong spot. I'll send you a link, I think, because I don't see you in there. Yeah, like I'm happy for everybody here that is getting progress done with their cases. This is amazing. It's awesome. And it's all of us together. I feel like as a unit, I think that's what's made us all be winners here, because that's what we are here. We're winners, right? 2 out of however many of us right here. That's a great stat. That's probably more than the reunification numbers at CPS, right? Because we all know that they take at least a child a minute or 2 childs a minute. That's what the numbers up to now is 2 a minute. And it's getting ridiculous. We got new people in the White House. We got new politicians in, but come on, man, where are they? Let's do this, Apparently Vinny is mad. So Vinny, if you're really mad, you can stay off tonight, buddy. Take the night off. I can finish this up. I'll do tonight for you. That's fine. Yep. I know, and we all wish that our kids would be home. There's a lot of grandparents out there with broken hearts. There's a lot of people out there that are sour, that have lost their kids to CPS. And everybody wishes that their kids are home. And here's the thing, a lot of people that are against what we, that's right, they don't ever let them go again. But there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, well, these people don't deserve their kids. Look, the people that don't deserve their kids don't have their kids anymore. They're gone. The second CPS took their kids, they didn't look back. They left their kids high and dry. So those aren't the people that are in this fight fighting. I've yet to find any one of those people that, hated their kids, beat on their kids, did drugs in front of their kids and all this stuff. And they're still sitting here every day, day in and day out, night after night, spending time trying to figure out how to get their kids home. I haven't found one of those yet. So that needs to not be a worry to anybody, because that's just not the truth at all. At all. So what do you guys got? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? You guys got questions, answers, comments, ass chewings? Whatever you guys want to talk about, go ahead, throw it in the comments. It's like I said, I was not prepared for this, but we're here together, and we all will do it. Yeah, I know it's a heartbreaking. Well, I don't know, never mind. I never had them say that my kid was coming home and then she didn't, so I'm sure that's very disappointing, and it's very enough to make you want to do something awful to someone. So I'm sure absolutely that's the truth. So that's why I told him, don't worry about it, buddy. He's a good dude, and he fights hard for his kids. No one can take that away from him. He spends a lot of time in this stuff, learning. And I know when he first came here, man, he was a broken dude. He was a broken dude with zero to no hope, and he's really turned himself around into an inspiration and a machine, so just all he needed was a little bit of a push, and that, I think that push here was enough for him to get in the fight, and because of that, he's barely going to scathe the law and the cases against him, and hopefully he gets his kids, hopefully all of us, but they're ready to fry him at the stake, They were ready to hang him. They were on a witch hunt for him. And because of what happened, I will say that happened with us. Like we met him and he came on the show, and then he just kind of never left. Kind of like I did with my wife. I met her one night and then I never left. But but he's been here through it all, and, that's where he's at now. But he didn't know, 2 + 2 = 5 in the CPS fight. He didn't know this stuff, guys. He's educated himself over the past 6 months, and now he's winning, man. He's in control of his game. He's in control of his destiny. Will I say this? I will say this. Brenda, here's the link right here. I'm going to put it in the chat. Can you get it from there? So here's the thing is there's a point, too, that that you need to learn to cool off. Like, you can't go all running hell and high water. Oh. There's Hitler. He's coming up to talk. You can't run hell and high water against these people, because you do in times need some representation, or you might need some sort of an assistance. Because, guys, doing all of this stuff isn't just... If being a lawyer was just writing a paper, everybody would do it. If being a lawyer was just going out, writing, putting together a few paragraphs about some local laws and agendas and things like that, everybody would be a lawyer, right? But there's a lot of things that go with, this is Hitler. This is my little buddy. Call him that because when he was little, it was a little mustache right here. Now it's a little half a nose, but we can't really change his name now. But anyway, so you can't just, get AI to write you up a paper, or you can, but it's not going to be proper. And there's going to be things in there that you got to take out. So you can't just be a lawyer. So there's things that you need to use these lawyers for, whether they're good or bad, or they're no good for you, then you got to use these lawyers just as that, because they know procedure. You don't know procedure. There's things that need to file. There's things that you got to file that you may not be aware of that you have to file. There's time schedules on things that you need to. There's certain ways that motions need to be written up with different fonts, different spacing that will get your stuff just thrown out for you if you don't do it properly. So there's a lot of procedures that you don't know about. It's not just going in there and arguing. You know, if it was going in there and arguing, everybody would be a lawyer, because we all can argue the shit out of stuff. Especially tell me I'm wrong. We'll argue all day and night. But you know, like, that's the thing. So you need to use caution with that stuff. You need to be cautious with that. Yeah, Gunner, see this shit? Gunner was with me earlier. They cut me down. I couldn't even talk to him on the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
So,
I don't know why the link I had, like, isn't it the same link I would have had earlier? Because
well, it wasn't, right?
I guess not. And guess what, though? I got it working on my phone, everybody.
Brenda, you're here. That's all that matters.
I'm excited about this.
Yes,
I
Brenda's
got
back.
going on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because you weren't.
Because that way, if I'm not at home, you know, then I won't be late for the show next time.
Right. You can never be late if you always have the phone.
Yeah. I usually have the phone, but I had to open it up in Chrome.
You got a lot of people that are watching.
You're right. You see that? I mean, we got Sage and Chris too. We got Give Us Our Babies Back. We got all these different people coming on in.
Yeah, they're all coming in because you got that's because of your show. You like blew through the roof today. You did great today.
Oh, really? I was on a roll. I just kept yabbity.
My wife even said today, she goes, man, I like Brenda's show. So she's actually a fan of your show now.
Oh, I got a fan.
Yeah, you do. You got a fan. So I try to shut it off, and she's like, no, let's listen to Brenda. I'm just kidding. I try to shut it off. But,
just a goddamn.
So, yeah. So, what's up, Brenda? What you got going on?
Well, I thought I was going to get some paperwork done today, but I did get into it a little bit. I'm just trying to straighten out every judge that was, because I had so many cases, guys. I mean, even though I've got it right down, everything's nice and neat with the dependency judges, whoever was involved with the court during the dependency case. But now I've got to do like separate sheets for all the other cases that followed that. I even have to include like, okay, so there's a criminal case that happened at the same time as the children's case. Then also at that same time, we had the forfeiture of the Jeep. So all the same players, all the same courts, you know, pretty much. And but as far as the forfeiture of the Jeep, I had to do that on my own. They said that's like a civil matter. They took my Jeep, and I tried to fight to get it back.
Did people take your Jeep, or did the police take your Jeep?
The sheriff department.
Yep. Oh, so regardless, it didn't matter. It was the sheriff. So whoever wanted it was getting it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing is that was like my kids were taking over a little bit of weed that was in the car, and the car was taking over that weed too.
Jesus, your kids and your car at the same time.
Right.
Jesus, I'm right. That's
wonder, yeah, the kids weren't with me, but I was thinking, what if the kids were with her? They already had them in the car. They could have just took it all together. Jeez, they do whatever they want against the law. They break the laws, guys. They're breaking laws every time you walk into that court, and you're not able to like cross-examine your accusers. They're breaking federal law. And that's what I'm starting to realize is like, I had really a good talk with this federal attorney today, you know, out in California. We talked like an hour and a half or something. She's excited about this because she's working on indictment for like everybody that wants to join in. She's going to work on indictment for each one of y'all. All we have to do is try to get, we're going to try to do cover letters and stuff so that, like I say, each state, wherever you are.
Is there anything that people can do to help?
Definitely. Like, for one thing, get those questions like answered. If you say, hey, I don't have the copy of these questions, let me know. it's best to do it like through email. Like email me, and then
What's your email?
I'll make sure you got the questions, or I could just ask you the questions over the phone, literally, and I'll
What's your
get your
email?
name in it. Huh?
How are
It's
people gonna do
Brenda Cambron 91 at gmail.com. And you can see my name's up there already, so you know, my name is like Cameron, but it's got a B instead of an E. That's what I try to tell people, because that way I don't have to spell it all out. But there you go.
My baby, what is graffiti demand? Maybe just promote graffiti. If they're worth promoting, then hell yeah, let's promote them. Well, just like Brenda promotes this,
because she's
I'm
saying the
signed up for
more
this.
people we have from each state, the more we're gonna hit up these you know, new attorney generals that are in there for. I'm talking about U.S. attorney generals for each state, the federal U.S. attorneys for each state. Okay, for wherever you're at, wherever this case happened, Google it. If it was in Dixie County, Florida, Google that. Say, what is? I still haven't looked up mine. Because on the top of the page, when we do make these cover letters, we're going to say, this is who it's addressed to, okay? We got to figure out, okay, are you going to call your attorney general's office or whatever? You're going to ask them, okay, I'm going to, if I file some, what is the procedure? Do you want it through email? Do you want me walking the door? Do you want me to, you know, fax it? I don't know. Whatever they want, we'll be ready for it. But that's why I'm saying, have all your ducks in a row. It's taken me 9 years to try to get my stuff straightened out, guys. It's not easy, especially when you have so many cases going on, like I said, at one time, and then even following your TPR or something like that. But this is very encouraging, and she's very excited about it because there's nothing ever been done like this before.
Do you find it hard since you've been TPR? Do you find it hard since you've been TPR to get excited about stuff now?
No, like, cause it just seems like, I've had, like, I'd say 3 different times I really thought I was getting somewhere with some different people. Like Barbara Stone, that was a fail. Peggy Dupree, I gave her all kinds of information and, you know, did all that. But what this lady's asking for, who's actually, is an active, attorney, you know, she's making this, she's trying to simplify it the best she can because she wants to see this happen. I mean, she's been doing dependency cases since 1982, I think she said. She's got some pretty famous background. If you know, she doesn't want to get too many people excited about this, like the people that might try to block it from happening. That's why it's just a parent movement. It's us, the people. Okay, it's not for everyone. It's for parents and or victims of child protective services and these dependency cases that these judges are. It's just unbelievable, guys. It's like, yeah. In fact, you know what the problem is with this attorney? She's like, why am I the only one out of all these attorneys across the United States? Why am I the only one that's doing this? She says, you know how many attorneys I have tried to get help? Huh?
She sees the vision. You know, like not everybody looks at it like this. I'm telling you, and I've been saying this for a long time. This thing is very simple. This is very simple.
Yeah, and that's what she said. It was right there all the time. It's just like
we have made this thing $1 million. We've made this thing $1 billion trillion business. You know, it's gone from just taking your kid, getting some funding, but now it's gone into you know, lawyers are in on this, caseworkers, GALs, people that have you know, counselors, substance abuse counselors are in on this. You have domestic violence is in on this now. You have all kinds of specialty groups that are now profiting from CPS, making this thing more and more difficult to get involved in. But what Brenda's talking about is absolutely right. Who is involved in this at the points is Gunner's forehead. Is the judges. The judges know. The judges, they can't do anything. CPS can't do anything. These other people can't do anything. Nobody, because the number one thing that we teach you guys is what? You can't do it without a warrant, with a wet ink signature by a judge, right? Or whatever. So nothing can be done without a judge. Therefore, this is the judge's issue. The judges are the ones. CPS doesn't have the authority. They're getting the authority from the judges, granting to these people, the CPS agents, to do this. That's where they're drawing their faux pas authority. So it is kind of a little bit of authority for them, There's a little smoke right there. So you got to think about that. That's exactly where they're drawing their stuff from. That's exactly who is in charge. When you get a TPR order, who signs the TPR order? The judge, right? The judge is the one that grants you the TPR, not CPS, the judge. If 15 to 22 months go by without you having your kid, the state automatically goes ahead and terminates you. So the CPS agent, again, doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, I'm not saying that they're good and everything else, but these judges do have a very big hand in what's going on. And we haven't done anything about this in a long time. And this woman is finally leading a trove of people through this fight. So hopefully we'll get there. But like I said, this thing is very simple. We've overcomplicated it. It has become a financial source of income for each state. Like I always say, if you go ahead and look and see the increase in the amount of money your state needs each year, budget, that's what they call that, the budget. When they need, if you need to go ahead and look at your records, I bet you find an increase in spending amounts at 4% or something like that. And then you'll go and look and it'll say CPS or whatever they call it in your area, DHHS or whatever. It'll say, hey, check this out. It's 4%. It matches the amount of money your state needs to get themselves to a zero budget. It's pretty crazy. And that's not a coincidence, people. And then if caseworkers and all of this stuff, here's the other thing, is if they don't have places to put kids right now, why are they still taking them? Why doesn't Trump do a hold? Why doesn't Donald Trump, like he's doing this? I mean, he's cut off the funds for Department of Education and stuff, from the federal funds for the state of Maine and stuff. Why doesn't he cut off all CPS child removals right now? If we do the next Trump thing, that's what should be done right now. There should be no more removals of children at all until this is all sorted out. Donald Trump, that's what you need to do. You need to stop every child removal from happening. The only way that you can go ahead and withdraw a child is if the police department shows up there with a medical person and we know 100,000% judge, jury, executioner right there that this kid is being abused, and then you go ahead and take him out. But other than that, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're taking children out of the home. So Trump, Mr. Trump, President Trump, sir, just please go stop all of this child removal from their homes. They don't have places to put their kids. These kids, they're putting them in way worse conditions than they left. If some of them, think about it, like 78% or something like that of these kids were neglectfully removed, which means that they didn't do shit. No one did a goddamn thing to their kids at all. They went inside and there was dirty dishes, or maybe someone was doing some drugs, but they didn't even know that until they piss tested them or something like that. Like something that was, they went right by them. They wouldn't even have known had they not done these things. There was no implication on the kid. There was no anything, but yet they still lost their children. But yet these people that are beating and abusing their kids still have their kids and they die in their hands, but CPS doesn't do anything. So Trump, Mr. Trump, President Trump, stop all removal of kids right now until this thing gets sorted out, because you're only breaking hearts of families. That's all you're doing. And for you to look by this as an issue, this should be one of the top issues in this country. We have a child a minute going away. A child a minute. I know you're worried about the border, and I know you're worried about all these other things, but people, the families are being broken apart. So yeah, screw that. It's not even just a child a minute, it's a family a minute, right? Like that's getting destroyed here. So let's take it to the bigger scale of things. Not only are you taking a kid out, you're ruining a small, perfectly good child, because statistics show, and so do studies show, that they're ruining kids. There's nothing good that comes out of them removing kids. Even if they're from an abused home, they say that they're better off staying in those homes. Do not remove them. But yet they still don't listen, and they're still doing that. They bring them in, and then these kids are getting molested in these foster care homes because they're not vetting them. They're not paying attention to what's going on. A good percentage of these kids that go to these foster homes are sexually molested. And you're willing to take the risk or the chance of that over keeping the kid home with his parents? You're willing to like play Russian roulette with the foster family, but you won't keep your kid at parent, with their parents because they did something, life happened to them, something stupid happened. They went out and drank one night and had a hoorah time with their old high school buddies or whatever, and on their way home they got an OUI. That means that they should lose their kids forever. That's a death penalty. This needs to be treated just like the death penalty. What would these people do that's so terrible that they receive the death penalty? Because that's what this is. It's a civil death penalty. What is an acceptable reason for taking someone's kid? Kid comes to school and has half of his brain. Let me tell you a story. We went to our TPR. We're in there. I'm getting questioned for 2.5 hours about the crime that I didn't commit, the crime that got dismissed, the crime that the same reason they still took Nina, and all of that, right? In the courtroom next to us, there's a lady in there that she had thrown her kids down the basement stairs intentionally, broke the kid's skull, gave it heroin to feel better, got the kid to have hepatitis, and the judge ordered them more reunification services because they didn't have enough time. That's what they got. I got TPR'd for doing absolutely nothing and pleading the fifth. They did those things nasty out in the open, and they got more reunification services. They haven't learned yet. The government wasn't done with them. They had services for the rest of their lives.
I was thinking about that the other day because I had this one news article where it has something about like me and Chris and having some dealings with Department of Children and Families. And in the next article, you'll notice that there was a kid walking around on the street with no supervision, like about 3 years old. Do you think that would be the one that got their kids taken away? You would think, but no.
Right. Hello, Gunnar.
Hey, obviously having some difficulties. You and I crossing paths here today, there, Darren.
Well, they don't want us talking, buddy. They're like, "Whoa, machine is in progress."
So, sometime tomorrow we'll get together. So, we've got a breaking story that I just stumbled upon in Portland, Oregon. A young mother that, yep, there's Mama.
There's a young mama.
There's a young mother in Portland, Oregon that has a child that's autistic that is in Section 8 housing. In other words, she used subsidized housing. Well, the program that does her housing was giving her vouchers to go into hotels because there was nowhere for them to stay until Section 8 housing actually came available. Well, they tried to phase her out because she had been on it for so long, put her into permanent housing, but come to find out, 4 doors down, and let's get this right, a state agency or subcontractor agency placed her there. 4 doors down was a registered sex offender, and CPS came and took her children because of that placement.
The placement that they placed in.
That is, yes, that is a number one. That is a scam. That's called entrapment, ladies and gentlemen. A state agency setting up another state agency to take your children, and they do not want it exposed. So she had a meeting with some of her people for the housing, saying, "What's up?" She goes, "Well, how did the CPS agent sign off on it then?" I said, "Get the paperwork from her and everything else showing that CPS worker signed off on it, or CPS did, that it was okay, knowing that was down there, and then come get her kid for that." I says, that is enough to go straight to the FBI because that is called entrapment. And it is a possibility that the state of Portland, Maine is doing this over and over again to steal children and put them in there in Portland, Oregon.
I'm sure they're doing it in Portland, Maine too, but this story you were talking about was from Portland, Oregon.
Too loud?
Just wanted to keep that right.
That's
somebody else had a similar story. How you know how like if you ever need a place to stay, you go to Salvation Army and you have to give them your everybody's birth certificates, everybody's social security numbers, and you might need to sit for a place to stay
subsidized.
Man, you're just there. It's a racket, even with Salvation Army, whoever. All these.
This CPS worker went far enough to go before a judge and tell a judge for removal they had first-hand experience that one, the mother knew about it, or somebody else the mother was talking to had actually any contact with the child, which was not going on. So there was no hard evidence saying any of this happened. This is all conjecture and hearsay. I says, well, I says, right there, I says, there's the whole thing. You know, you've got something against it. And what it is that one agency, so instead of going out to the other agency, the state agency, they went after the mother to report another fault in their system. We can't have that because that would expose something.
That's freaking terrible. That's fucking
This is how they take low-income people and traffic their children. And they get an extra bonus, CPS does, for taking the child into custody and having special needs, like autism.
Yep. Line them up.
Yeah, I mean, telling me like your child should be represented by a guardian ad litem attorney from the beginning. Like, especially if you have children, especially like a little bit older.
No. One, if you have a guardian ad litem attorney, the court appoints it, and there's the thing that they mess with you. You should be able to pick out the attorney for your child in your child's best interest. But that's not what happens. The court says we will appoint it ahead of time and never gives the option to actually take and do that. So once again, it's a violation of due process. They're not even following their codes and procedures, but let alone in a case like this, it's just like, and even going in, it's like, you set me up for this. You guys signed off on it, and she had just shared that today, that CPS actually signed off on the place she was living, and then come and took her kid for exactly signing off on it, saying it was safe. It's a setup. It's a scam.
They told me, like, because we kept asking, why aren't the kids being represented by attorneys? And they said that your child wouldn't be represented by an attorney unless they had delays or autism or something like this. And so it was the case was halfway over. Sometime right before the TPR hearings, they finally appointed an attorney to my daughter, but never to my son. I mean, he didn't have delays, but as far as I understand it, they should have been represented,
by
like
a
you said, you
specialized
have your own
attorney
choice to
and
do that.
some specialist along that is completely aware of their medical condition. It's under the American with Disabilities Act. It's all covered there. They are entitled to have legal representation if they don't know what's there, but it also, the attorney has to have somebody interpret that as a medical professional or treating physician to actually go in and brief them on it, because they're not qualified to practice medicine.
Absolutely.
But once again, the lower state courts or the administrative courts do not recognize the ADA, and these family courts do the same damn thing. And you talk about the corrupt with this and that, like I said, until you get to the point, you've got something, and like I said, everybody's got this, and these are other conversations. We've got bits and pieces. When you put them all collectively together, even going forward with lawsuits enough to stop all this, you have to show extreme corruption. I mean, all this stuff, RICO, how they're all working together. You have got to have those answers to shut it down. And like I said, when you have those answers, that makes a world of difference when you understand that the entire inner workings, the way that their procedures, policy procedures, and their practices. And once you can expose all those things and then prove it in court of just saying, hey, it's not hearsay, it's in documentation, it's in, testimony and this and that, it's the documents. And when you show that they're practicing what they're preaching, basically, which is unconstitutionality of possessing children by violating constitutional rights every single time. But once again, the state is training them and paying them to do this particular way, to circumvent your fucking rights. They're trained for it. We already know about the convention, the training convention that you and I as taxpayers pay for. But, for each state, that they send these caseworkers, supervisors, everybody else to these conventions that have training seminars. And they are actually training. Some states, actually in their policy procedures and handbooks, actually says right in there on how to get around a person that is difficult to let you in the home, how to coerce entry. They actually have a fucking class on this shit. That's an act of treason and sedition. How is that happening? You're not supposed to look for ways to circumvent it. Matter of fact, those are absolutes. As soon as you did that, you turned on your country. And you did it to what? Steal children and destroy families. So what are you going to do when somebody actually takes and exposes it and has the hard evidence on you? I guess that would change a lot of things here real soon, especially with everything going on. If the case just broke out like that, we have full exposure and evidence and everything. I mean, can you imagine? That's what everybody's screaming for today.
Is this? I don't know if this is the same story, but this is a story coming from Portland, Oregon, right here. They're a mess, apparently. Check this out. Bear with me here, guys. Hopefully, I can make this work right. I can't believe how bad these computers are working. Oh, now my screen just flashed off. Perfect. There we go. All right, here we go. Watch this. Kind of similar, but not the same. But check it out.
To get off it.
Do we want some boom boom time or do we want some eating time?
Eating time.
Rice and some chicken for lunch? Is that a good
Yeah.
Good job.
This is Jody Gibbs and her 15-year-old daughter, Amara.
Can you want to sing your song? What is the?
Weather, what is the weather?
Can you say bite size?
Bite size.
So now I need to cut into smaller pieces. Is that a good idea?
That's absolutely a good idea.
Amara has severe intellectual disability and autism. She requires 24/7 care and is unable to go to school. You cannot find an in-home care provider right now?
I cannot. There is no one that has the qualifications right now to be able to manage Amara's severe behaviors.
Jody, a single mother, says getting Amara the care she needs has proven to be difficult.
So as soon as Amara has a negative behavior, those people just leave right away.
Jody says news of a new state program gave her hope. The children's
Oh, I guess they don't want us to watch it anymore. Jesus almighty. That's interesting.
Maybe it's time for you to defrag your computers.
Yeah, maybe it's time for me to get a new one,
Processor
right?
issues? Well, it may be a processor issue.
I don't know. It seems funny that everything works fine until we're doing this.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't explain why your own personal phone doesn't work either.
to get off
Here
it.
we go.
Do we want some boom boom time?
Try it again. You see it up there?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
You cannot find an in-home care provider right now?
I cannot. There is no one that has the qualifications right now to be able to manage Amara's severe behaviors.
Jody, a single mother, says getting Amara the care she needs has proven to be difficult.
So as soon as Amara has a negative behavior, those people just leave right away.
Jody says news of a new state program gave her hope. The Children's Extraordinary Needs program launched on July 1st. Amara is one of 1,500 kids who qualify due to their high medical or behavioral needs. The state pays parents or guardians of minor children up to 20 hours a week for home care.
So with the 20-hour a week, that would be a life-saving, like a lifeboat to me, basically, allowing me to stay in home with Amara until she turns 18.
The state got federal approval to do this. Before the pandemic, parents of minor children could not get paid for providing care. However, the state's budget only covers 155 families at a time.
Your child has not been randomly selected for an initial spot in the program.
Jody is one of more than 1,300 parents who got this letter telling them they did not get selected and instead would be on a wait list.
They are number 749 on the wait list.
Jody says if nothing changes, she might be forced to put her daughter in a group home so Jody can go back to work. On a personal level, if you had to put your daughter in a group home, I imagine that would be tough.
Amara was adopted from Ethiopia when she was just 5 months old. And we have been through just so much together. My daughter is absolutely everything to me. And I would give anything, and I would stop at nothing for her, which is why I want to speak out for this, because I'm doing this out of desperation. I don't want to have that happen. Yay! Do you love your swing chair?
The fix for her would be an expansion of the program to pay every person who qualifies. The state says the money simply isn't there to do that right now. One lawmaker says the state will review the program's costs in early 2025 and expand it if the budget allows. Jody worries she's running out of time.
Squeezy, squeezy. Oh, squeezy, squeezy.
I have spoken to a state lawmaker who worked on this program and the state's Department of Human Services. Everyone is sympathetic to Jody and Amara's situation. We are sitting down with that lawmaker and people with the state agency in the coming weeks to learn more about the program and the likelihood it can expand. In the meantime, if you or someone you know is faced with a similar situation, reach out to us. You can send us an email at k2investigates@k2.com or leave a voicemail at 503-2.
You're muted, Darren.
All right. So because they don't have room for her somewhere, they're going to put her in a group home. So they got room in a group home, but they don't have, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they're doing.
They're not getting the funding to take care of her own kids because she's got to make money somehow. She can't have a job and take care of her kid 24/7.
Well, I have a couple issues with this one. You talked about this woman that, obviously we just see the woman. We don't see a significant other or anything else, just a single mom. When you take on the role of being an adopted parent, it's kind of like everybody else. You're saying you can be responsible and help raise that child. And that would be one aspect. Second aspect is this is a special needs child from another country. Why did we take in somebody from another country before we're not putting Americans first?
Oh, I was going to say that same. That's where I was going to.
I mean, I'm sorry. Why are we taking this? You have somebody that has taken in an indigent child that doesn't have the resources to support an indigent child, but yet they were allowed to be adopted into this family? Something's not adding up. They're not financially secure for a long term of taking care of something like that. That would be first addressed. Second, why from another country? It's a huge thing when there's several others that are there, and I get a lot of people say that they want in-home care versus, this. Why not just redirect the money to the families? That's been our, in a lot of things with people taking families, everything. Why don't you just give them a little influx of cash and help them fix things? But here's the other problem.
Care?
What's that?
How much is in-home care?
Well, once she's staying, she's doing nothing more than homeschooling. I mean, the child's of that age. How's it any different than that?
Kim, how much does in-home care cost?
I was making $22 an hour through a company.
So they were probably getting like $45 an hour for you.
Yeah.
So let's say $45 an hour. My friend Kim here, she is an in-home care nurse, actually. So what is that? $45 an hour is nothing. That's pennies on the dollar for these federal funds that are coming through that they're wasting. Just so that this woman, I mean, granted, I don't agree with that either. I know I was going to hit that thing on the head too. With the fact that the child came from overseas. I mean, I don't want to see any child hurt, but come on. I mean, we got plenty here.
What I'm thinking about, what if it goes the opposite way, is that your child is being adopted to somebody from another country, or even fostered by a person from another country, because that's what happened to my daughter. She was placed with this Haitian lady, and it seems as though that these people that are taking in the foster children, they aren't making enough money on the kids, so they have to have a full-time job as well. So, I mean, this lady was never, my daughter needs 24-hour care, just like that girl that was on TV, okay? So,
well, and here's the other problem that I've got. Well, Brenda, let's address this within this. They only get so much from this and that. But why not getting the child? If that child is up that and it's a permanent disability, why isn't it going on Social Security disability? Because others that take inheritance, why not?
Too. They were getting Social Security on her. The lady was, I had all the figures because when I went to rescue my daughter, when I seen her in these deplorable conditions, I got all the discoveries. I got every amount of penny that lady was making, not only at her job, with the fostering and Social Security. I think there was one more thing too.
Well, I mean, Yeah, I mean the disability part though. I mean that you have over there. I mean it covers those things. It goes on state, like 10 care or Texas Care, whatever your state care usually program is. The medical's not. That is the fact of, hey, I have living expenses, but look at the home. Maybe we need to reduce the way that we're living and not
Yeah,
live
tell
so
them yes.
lavishly. I mean, if you're struggling that hard, why are you living in a nice ass house and everything else? I get you like nice things. One, if you're truly a parent, there's one thing maybe these fosters don't understand. You sacrifice for your children. I don't see much sacrificing from this woman whatsoever in that video that shows any form of destitute other than I don't have cash on hand. I mean, and that's just the glimpse we see, and I could be wrong. But once again, this is the thing that's portrayed. Nice house, everything else, nice, all these nice things that are in the house, all this other stuff. Nice place to live. And people say,
Exactly.
oh, well, that's not this and that. I'm like, really? You know how many people are living out in fucking trailers in the middle of the fucking hills or in the middle of the fucking woods and don't have a dime to their name and stuck in poverty? What are you doing to help that? I mean, one day or another, we're going to have to put this country first. This globalism worldwide shit is not working because we're footing the bill. There's the problem.
Well, here's the problem: is that we just showed right there that there's pennies on the dollars for this Title IV funds that we have millions that are just going to waste. But for
Oh yeah.
$22 to $23 an hour, every person that took in someone with 24-hour care could get a break. They could. I mean, come on, these people do need some help somehow, and there's got to be ways that we can get these caretakers this money to get in there to help these people. Because not only does it give someone else money, it's a job for someone else, but it gives the families that have taken these kids with these high necessity needs and takes them and brings them
And
some joy
you
and
know how
some
you can pay
refreshments.
for it? I can tell you how you pay for it. Eliminate CPS, eliminate the court system, eliminate all this stuff, and give direct access to the people and the help. Because
Agreed.
the amount of money we're wasting on what? Monitoring what? That it's happening? Ooh, congratulations. We don't need a statistical analytic of it. We need help. There's a big difference. The billions and trillions of dollars that's wasted and nobody's helped, and only, what is it, 4% of sustainability in all cases across the United States. I mean, come on. This is a wasted program. You talk about the OGE should get in here and cut every bit of it, but they can't because it's not federal. But they can control a lot of other things and disqualify them from federal funding. Why? Because if you expose them for trafficking and everything else and fraud upon the courts to obtain all these things of saying you broke constitutional rights to do it and full exposure, game over. Guess what? You're going to end up like Maine. A lot of you states better wake up because it's going to look like Maine, and then all of a sudden, guess what? President Trump's going to look over there and go, guess what? Do you comply with all the federal statutes? Guess what? No funding, no money. And Darren and I was having a conversation earlier. People say, does CPS have a right to get in your home? Between the Fourth Amendment and Social Security Act, Section 1101, that turns around and says, nothing in this act says you have a right to enter a home without probable cause, deferring to the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. Then why are they in the home or say, well, we can do this? No, you can't. It requires you, as every other government agent, to get a warrant or court order for justifiable cause. It's right in there. So what are they doing by going in there and doing these with these children? Breaking federal law. Matter of fact, it disqualifies them when they enter the home to receive federal funding.
Yeah, that's
Title
the
IV.
whole other thing, man. That's that whole other topic, man. Title IV is just look at that program is set up just right the way it's supposed to be, but it's the users and it's the implicators that are ruining it. They're not doing it right. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I think we did a good job with the election of pushing these assholes out so that we can do the right thing. But guys, I got to bounce, so let's do some last words. Gunner, what you got?
It's a corrupt system. Don't give up hope. If you're having thoughts of suicide or anything like that, guys, don't give up hope. Talk to somebody, get some help. Know your rights. Exercise your rights. Share the information and gain knowledge. And just hold on, because we're probably not far away. Well, let's put it this way, Darren. There, do you feel we're far away from actually from some things actually truly changing? Because there's some things we know you guys don't know.
We're not that far from a big fight. What the end will end up, I don't know.
Fight.
But we're not that far from a fight.
Huge. He's doing a Trump invitation now. It's going to be huge, okay? Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it's almost like you can feel it. It's happening. Whatever you do know or you don't know, just be ready for it. And that's what I'm saying. Make sure you have all your shit straightened out. Make sure you know all your court dates, everything that happened in that dependency care. Make sure you have all those judges' names, okay? Because we're gonna need them. Because there's gonna be some shit hitting the fan, okay? And we're gonna have fun watching it. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you everybody for joining the chat. We didn't give much time to say what everybody was talking about. Wasn't even paying no attention, but we really appreciate everybody coming.
We do appreciate you guys very much. Absolutely, we do. Without I went blank. Hold on. Without you guys, obviously, we don't have a show. We don't have a purpose. So thank you guys very much for watching us and being with us and all of that. We don't ever, even if we don't get to your comments, it's not because we're ignoring you. It's just because we're trying to give you guys good knowledge and entertainment that we know. But hey, with everything you said tonight, have an awesome weekend. Don't forget the Vinny show tomorrow. Don't forget the Main Matters show tomorrow at 2. Vinny show's on tomorrow night at 7. And we got in for CPS at 9 on Sunday night. And then we also have Finding the Truth with Obsidian at 7 to 9. So back to back on Sunday and a little gap in Saturday. But I'm the CPS Punisher, and we are out of here. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks, everybody.
They separate us from our neighbors and they call it social distancing. It's actually a bigger plan, it's called social conditioning. They took away our privacy, there's always someone listening. The elections planning riots for the citizens. The government has always lied, it's history repeating. But the problem is the schools dumb you down so you believe them. If you try to speak the truth inside a tweet, then they delete it. Whole administration Satanists who claim they praise in Jesus. Every year there's a new name for enemies that we're facing. It's Al-Qaeda, then ISIS, and now American patriots. Who would have thought those who love the country the most would be hated on by folks who call America home? Both political parties are equally just as evil. They've been working for themselves, don't give a damn about the people. Black, white, yellow, brown, humanity needs you. Cause united we stand, divided they will defeat you. The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust. Y'all missing what was written in them pages. That was history they wrote, now you wanna change it. You racist, you hate this. Why you want us all to be locked up in cages? I can't stand the left, everything they say's depressing. Ship them to the Middle East, they can learn oppression. Believe me, I mean this quite literal. I love liberty, but I liberals. Wear a mask, stay home, complain and moan. Talk about privilege on your phone in your Range Rover, Starbucks, mango, foo-foo, whatever. The cloth I'm cut from can handle any weather. You just paper in the rain, we ain't the same. Stand for the flag, only kneel when I pray. I just pray we go back to the old days, land of the free, home of the brave. The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
Yeah. I see through all the illusions, refuse to hear rumors or accept that we're losing. Easy to get caught up, consumed by the consumer. Truth is so diluted, people starve off the confusion. Comfort is the killer, your dreams execution. Cool with persecution if I make a contribution. Home of the brave look like a mental institution, and there will be revolution if we can't find resolution. And a threat is a promise, stand up, pay homage. They tell lies, I'm being honest, test of time is upon us. I know that God got us, so I'm fighting in his honor. Hear the cries of the crusaders as we're strapping up our armor. Either set a higher ground or drown in a drama. If I die for what I love, then my death will be nirvana. We fighting for our freedom, don't believe what they've been feeding. Be the change you wanna see, the warrior that we're needing.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
We don't trust the news, the government, or pharma. We just want freedom, that you have that to offer. We don't want the lies, the politics, or the drama. We just want the life that was promised by our fathers. We don't trust the news, the government, or pharma. We just want freedom, that you have that to offer. We don't want the lies, the politics, or the drama. We just want the life that was promised by our fathers.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we.
Under golden skies so wide, we stand tall, no fear to hide. Whispers of the windswept plains, hold your ground, break these chains. See the children lost at sea, dreams of freedom wild and free. Shadows fall but we stay bright, hearts of truth with purest light. Don't tread on me, hear the call, rise above, we'll never fall, and the tears lift the veil, in this fight we shall prevail. The sings tales untold of a future brave and bold. Steel guitar, the warriors cry. With our love, we touch the sky. Silent prayers and tender hearts, healing where the pain departs. Hand in hand we write our fate. Sing these words, it's not too late. Sings tales untold of a future brave and bold. Steel guitar, the warrior cry. With our love we touch.